Cobra Kai is back where it belongs. Back on top. Everyone closed the book on us. They thought we were done. But now they see. That the real story's only just begun.
Cobra Kai Season 6 has taken the story to new heights, but many unanswered questions remain that need to be addressed before the show concludes, particularly regarding characters with deep histories like John Kreese, Mr. Miyagi, and Kim Sun-young. The show has only scratched the surface of these complex personalities, and with 5 episodes already released in Season 6, several important plot points have been revealed, such as a few rules of the Sakai Taikai tournament. The tournament will be a major part of the 5 upcoming episodes, but with 2 more batches of 5 episodes to go, it's clear that Cobra Kai still has more storylines to develop. The tournament itself will play a big role in the action, but other conflicts and unresolved issues need to be addressed, particularly those involving Mr. Miyagi and the show's villains. Seriously, the series has a lot of ground to cover as it heads toward its conclusion, given the history between the characters. So in this video, we are looking at 8 important questions that the show needs to answer before it concludes. Number 8. Mr. Miyagi's Mysteries. Mr. Miyagi's past is revealed to have a surprising connection to the Sakai Taikai tournament, which Daniel LaRusso discovers after noticing a pattern on the headbands worn by Sam and Robbie that matches one of Mr. Miyagi's belongings. This revelation raises questions about Mr. Miyagi's past, as fans of the Karate Kid movies know that he had a strong dislike for martial arts tournaments and didn't believe in competing to prove oneself. It's possible that Mr. Miyagi had a different opinion in his younger days or felt compelled to compete for another reason, and Season 6 must explore if he participated in the tournament and what happened during it. But then, why did he hide that box from Daniel? It seems he knew the contents were either embarrassing or even dangerous. Another mystery surrounding Miyagi is an alleged assault and violent robbery in 1947, where he reportedly attacked a man named Jim Watkins and stole an expensive necklace, which seems out of character for the wise and kind mentor everyone knew. There are several theories about what really happened. One takeaway from all this is that Mr. Miyagi started out on the wrong path before developing the image he became known for in The Karate Kid. Another theory suggests that Jim Watkins may have initiated the altercation and that Mr. Miyagi was only defending himself. The pricey necklace might have belonged to Mr. Miyagi's late wife, making it a very personal possession that he was fighting to keep safe. On the other hand, another theory contends that Mr. Miyagi was framed for the crimes in order to discredit him. Given some lingering twists, such as the mystery surrounding Mr. Miyagi's true name, this might be feasible. An old article in Season 6, Part 1 named Keisuke Miyagi as Jim Watkins' attacker, who included a picture of Mr. Miyagi's passport, but it listed his birth year as 1918, even though his gravestone states that he was born in 1925 and was named Nariyoshi Miyagi, and yet Daniel thinks he was born in 1924. There are too many inconsistencies, and Season 6 must clarify these unanswered mysteries before the finale. Number 7.
My uncle Sato did not speak much of Kim Sun-young, but I know he had much anger towards him.
What was Sato's issue with Kim Sun-young? Chosen's family is strangely associated with Master Kim Sun-young, the antagonist of Season 6. In Season 5, Chosen told Daniel that Sato held anger toward Kim Sun-young. However, Chosen was unaware of why. Apparently, Master Kim Sun-young had a deep-seated grudge with Sato, but the reason behind this animosity was never explained, and this mystery is likely tied to Kim's role in Season 6.
He taught many American soldiers.
That makes sense.
Sato and Master Kim being martial arts rivals in the past could be integral to the fights to come, especially since family honor is so important to Chosen. Apparently, during the Korean War, Sato met Kim Sun-young, who was teaching American soldiers Tang Soo-do. While Sato did not speak about Kim in The Karate Kid, Sato held a lot of anger towards Kim. Kim Sun-young earned notoriety in the world of martial arts for having taught a brutal and ruthless fighting style that were based on deception to catch one's opponent off guard, showing neither mercy nor honor. From the historical point of view, the South Korean president at the time urged martial arts to be introduced to the army under a single system of Korean martial art. Tang Soo-do was the term used. At the time, South Korea wanted to create a strong and formidable military so that it will never fall victim to foreign invasion ever again, which explains the ruthlessness of the martial arts. Now, imagine if Kim Sun-young or his son had journeyed to Okinawa. training the American soldiers stationed there. Suppose he had opened a dojo in Okinawa, attracting not only American students but also local Okinawans. In response, Sato, determined to protect Okinawa's martial heritage, might have established his own dojo to teach the true Miyagi-Do karate, the ancient art of the Ryukyu Kingdom, as mentioned by Chosen in Cobra Kai. To combat the influence of Master Kim's ruthless Tang-Soo-Do, Sato had to harden his approach, which explains his strict and demanding demeanor towards Chosen. He saw the preservation of Okinawan culture and Miyagi-Do karate as a battle for identity and heritage. Perhaps Sato even managed to defeat Tang-Soo-Do's dominance in Okinawa, forcing Master Kim to retreat. This might be why, in Karate Kid 2, we see American military police studying under Chosen. Sato's dojo had become a new stronghold for them. This context sheds light on Sato's resentment towards Miyagi. He was perhaps fighting a two-front war to save his village and his karate from foreign influence. To Sato, Miyagi's departure from Okinawa felt like a betrayal, an abandonment of their shared duty, leading him to brand Miyagi as a coward. It's intriguing to consider how or when Sato first met Kim Sun-young and what unfolded between them. Cobra Kai has shown that every villain has a backstory, and Sato might have been driven by the same preservation instinct as Kim Da-eun is today. This could explain why Kim Da-eun looked down on Chosen, mocking him with,
You must be Chosen Toguchi. Far from your pathetic little island, aren't you?
It hints at a deeper history, possibly a personal grudge, born from the conflict between her grandfather and Chosen's Uncle Sato.
Your offer is very tempting, but I did not get on the plane for money.
This makes sense as to why Kim Da-eun wanted to help Terry Silva crush Miyagi-Do, and she made it clear to Silva when she first arrived that she did not come all the way from Korea for his money. What do you think of this? If Chosen finds out that Kim in some way wronged Sato, then he could become even more determined to ensure that Johnny and Daniel's students hand Cobra Kai a painful defeat at the Sakai Taikai. We have already seen that Netflix 2-doom image of Kim Da-eun and Chosen conversing in a club. This may be related to this topic. Number 6. What really turned John Kreese into a villain? In the show, there is a huge void in John Kreese's origin story. Kim Sun-young could be the key to multiple mysteries, including Kreese's descent to villainy. In fact, John Kreese's flashback plotline in Season 3 gave the impression that his time in the Vietnam War and association with Captain Turner were to blame for his transformation into a villain, but later revelations in Seasons 5 and 6 proved otherwise. It is clear from flashbacks of Kreese's interactions with Terry Silva and a young Kim Da-eun that Kreese's positive traits persisted even after he abandoned Turner to die in Vietnam. Since Kreese's transformation into a ruthless and unsympathetic fighter must have happened between the Vietnam War and the Karate Kid, Cobra Kai has not even finished narrating his origin story, with Kim Sun-young being his second mentor, plus the character being a key figure in Season 6. It's highly likely that he gave Kreese that extra push. But what it was exactly that Master Kim did to mold Kreese in his merciless image remains to be hidden up to now. Number 5. The fate of Terry Silva. Cobra Kai still hasn't explained exactly what happened to Terry Silva. Although he was arrested in the conclusion of Cobra Kai Season 5, it was not made clear if he would actually serve time in prison for his crimes. Curiously, Cobra Kai Season 6 Part 1 danced around his fate, with Amanda musing about the villain potentially getting the charges dropped. For now, it's hard to say what punishment, if any, Silva faced for what he did. Now, we all know, as Amanda pointed out, Silva using his connections to avoid prison and return to the valley is certainly a viable scenario. And, of course, we have seen numerous images of Silva's actor Thomas Ian Griffith wearing suits on set, implying that Silva is not in jail in the upcoming installment. In any case, it is crucial that Cobra Kai give Terry Silva's story a fitting ending. As the villain of the show and the character who set the Sakai Taikai arc in motion in the first place, Silva will have a place in the narrative. It will make sense for Silva to show up at the tournament, especially since Kreese still harbors resentment toward him. There's also the feeling that things were left unsaid between Silva and Kenny, who had a strong bond before the latter discovered Silva's cheating ways. Regardless of whether he served time in prison, Silva will participate in the Sakai Taikai tournament, and his storyline requires a fitting resolution at the end of the series. Number 4. Cobra Kai Season 6 needs to punish Devons Crime. As everyone knows, Devon was the one who tampered with Kenny's water and caused the humiliating incident during the final training for Miyagi-Do, which cost Kenny his place in the Sakai Taikai. Devon was insecure and desperate to get into the tournament. Naturally, Johnny will be devastated in part 2 if he learns. He considers her like a daughter. She's one of his favorite fighters due to her diligence and ferocity. But now it's obvious, she only about shortcuts and excuses. This could revive the difference in ideologies, as Daniel does think Devon exhibits Johnny's toxic traits, hence why Johnny adores her. The way Johnny responds to this could potentially lead to further internal conflict between the two senseis. Ultimately, Devon cheated, so Johnny has to assess, punish, and see if she can garner absolution, as he wants to be seen as a fair sensei. Furthermore, poor Kenny misinterpreted the circumstances and believed that Anthony, his longtime rival, had done it to him this time. Therefore, the show must set up the confrontation between Kenny and Anthony in the interim and develop it until it leads to the truth. This allows the characters to reconcile with each other. Number 3. Johnny and Daniel's conflict. The central conflict of Cobra Kai revolves around the rivalry between Johnny Lawrence and Daniel LaRusso, with their differences still unsettled despite a tied fight in Season 4. The question of who is the better fighter has resurfaced in Season 6, making a rematch between Johnny and Daniel seem inevitable, and this time the show may finally pick a winner. The tension between Johnny and Daniel has been building throughout the season, and a fight could be the key to mending their relationship for good, similar to what happened between Mike Barnes and Johnny earlier in the series. In Season 6, Episode 5, we witnessed Daniel sucker punch Johnny when he attempted to discuss Mr. Miyagi. We stopped when Johnny promised that he would be there to help the team win the tournament and never to see Daniel again. A face-off between Johnny and Daniel now seems unlikely, but the unresolved storylines, including their internal rivalry, are making Cobra Kai Season 6 one of the most intense yet. Johnny and Daniel will probably compete in the Sakai Taikai Sensei division if it occurs, where they will be battling against other senseis. Since Cobra Kai has practically become a thing to demonstrate that Daniel is the only hero in this franchise, it would be beneficial for them to have one final showdown that demonstrates who is the best, even though having them fight again might seem like dragging the series back to needless drama. However, the most crucial thing is that they finally get along. Number 2. Cobra Kai Season 6 has some key family angles to address. First of all, Carmen and Johnny are expecting a child. Miguel and Robbie are ecstatic about their little sibling, but there is drama to come. Johnny couldn't hold a job or land them a proper home. He even botched working in Daniel's car dealership. In order to support his expanding family in the series, he must soon get over this ego. On top of that, Miguel has been waitlisted by Stanford. He isn't sure if he wants to go there in any case, as they may not be able to afford it. These distractions could affect Miguel, as well as Robbie, in the tournament. Amanda and Daniel also need to talk to Anthony. He's not in the tournament, and he's perhaps lacking confidence. They must pick him up and reassure him that he can recover and strive to be as good as Sam. Number 1.
But reason I'm calling is I would like to see you when I come home, Kumiko.
Cobra Kai has to sort out Chosen's love life. Kumiko never replied to Chosen's Season 5 voicemail about how he still loves her. In Season 6, he went back to Okinawa to win her heart over. Hopefully he can return from Okinawa a happy man, but now we know he will be at the Sakai Taikai as well after his return, so Miyagi-Do will be having him. Please share your opinions in the comments section, focusing on what you would like to see in the finales parts 2 and 3. Thanks for watching. Remember, there is no mercy in this dojo, so stay badass.